Well, welcome to Wood Chip Woodworking. Today we're going to do the final stages of our distress flag. So this would be part 3 of this distress flag that I'm doing. So please feel free to share, subscribe, like, comment below in the comment section below, and let me know your thoughts and comments on this distress flag I'm done. It's been a work in progress. A lot of the delays have been to drying and things of that nature. So let's get started on this video and see what we get. All right, hang tight. Let's get started putting it together. All right, so here we are. Got our pieces laid out. So the first thing we need to do is remove the razor blades that I've got here. So the best way that I found how to do that is get an extra razor blade. Take a razor blade and just cut right here. Now you're not really cutting, you're just scoring it. And that scores the paint. And then just kind of wiggle it back and forth and it should come right out. Just like that. And hopefully you won't get a little tear out like that, but that's all right, we'll deal with that. So that's one. I've got them all lined up in line here. So again, I just take this razor blade and I reuse these razor blades so much that that comes right out. So we'll do that. Got another one. All right, I'll do the last 3 here and then we'll be right back. All right, so here we are. I got it laid up here. Put this like this. Make sure everything lines up before I start assembling. All right, looks good. Everything lines up good. All right, so push this that way. I always start at the top and work my way down. So I take my first 2 pieces, lay it down like that. Gotta have your Mountain Dew. Get some glue. I'm just using Titebond 3 glue here. And as the bearded Viking woodworker would say, add a little dab of glue. So we're going to add some glue. And put this piece right on top. And I always start from this end here, square everything up, make sure everything's nice and easy. Got my drill. I'm going to use the short screws, the 2-inch screws to start with. And my drill's giving me fits today. I'll put 3 short screws in across the top. I'll work my way over. One more here. Find me a short one. Short one, where you at? There you are. And I try to keep these as straight as possible on this upper edge. There. And that'd be what it is. Hang tight and let me go get a rag. All right, so I got me a wet rag, and I always take and wipe off any excess glue I got. Clean that up. And we go on to the next one. Take my next piece, add a dab of glue. Whoop, went a little far there. And why I do it on here is I can keep things flat, lined up best I can. Then I go to step to a longer screw. Always start from that far end. Another screw in. And I usually put 3 screws in per piece. And that piece right there, I'm going to have to put a clamp on that. We'll get that in a second. In fact, I'll put one on it right now. Let that clamp to dry. Put that like that. And then rinse and repeat. So I'll slide it up, put some glue on her, and do it again. We'll start here on this one. And put one down here. This one's so short. And I'm gonna have to move that screw over because I got a screw there. Hang tight. I had to move that screw over just a hair because for some reason the one I put in previously was right in line with that. This drill here giving me fits for some reason. I don't know why. See it? It's a good little drill, but it's so. But anyway, and then, like I said, wipe the glue off, and we're in good shape. All right, so let's rinse and repeat. I'll do the rest of them, and then we'll be right back and see where we're at from there. Hang tight. All right, well, we're putting our last screw in. And that's our last screw. And we'll wipe her down good. Make sure there's no excess glue on it. We'll stand her up and look at her. Wipe it down real good with the rag here. And I'm going to leave that clamp on there for a little bit longer until after we get our stars on. And we'll be in good shape. All right, so that's part there. What we'll do next is we'll go over to the bench and we'll set up and put our stars down. So hang tight and we'll get set up for that. So just realized my mic was off. So I don't know if you caught anything that I had said earlier. So I'm not sure when it was off or how long it was off. So I'll reiterate everything that I just said. I bought these stars at Amazon, laid the pattern out, this out here on my flag. I got a white marker here, and I went through and I put a dot in the center of all the stars. I laid my stars out there, put a little bit of CA glue in there, about the size of a dime. Put a little CA glue in there, put a little activator on the stars, and put them in place. Kind of smush them around a little bit and hold them. Make sure the points are facing up. And give them a second, and they glue in pretty good. So I'm not sure what you may have missed with my mic being turned off. I'm not sure why it turned off. It's still on. But basically, I lay all the stars out, put the little CA glue on there, like I said, about the size of a dime. Now this is thick CA glue from Starbond with activator. I use thick because I want it to spread out when I put the star on. I don't want it to run, I just want it to spread out on its own. When you get these stars, they're wood on one side and are on both sides, and so I just put them on a piece of paper and paint them white. And then I put the wood side up, spray a little activator on it, and then take each star and rub it a little bit, and then kind of place it where I want it and hold it for a second, and it stays. It's glued. The CA glue is a godsend at times. You really don't want to get it on your fingers if you can help it. There's going to be a little squeeze out at times, but that's all right. Like that one there I just did has a little bit of squeeze out, and I think it got carried away on the glue a little more than what I needed. So we will continue with putting our stars on here, and I'll be right back on how I finish it up from there. So hang tight. All right, so I got the stars glued on. Everything's done. I got to take my clamp off the part that I had glued over there. So we'll take that off. Got a little bit of a squeeze out there I got to clean up. And then we'll go and put some polyurethane on it. Hang tight. All right, so what I've got here is some Minwax water-based poly. And I'm only going to do the stripes here because I got to let that glue dry and set up. So just to show you what happens, I just kind of put it on here, and it's going to take a little bit of, about 3 or 4 coats to do it. So I just kind of slather it on just like this. I'll put the first coat on the stripes here, and then just let the paint or the stars dry up before I put the coat on, and it'll take a few minutes for it to dry. So I just want to show you what I've got. And I've got one that it's similar to this, difference being that I did not stain the stripes white, but the other part was done. So I'll just take and put a good coat on here. And I doubt like heck if it's ready for the stars, but that's all right. Then once I get this all kind of slathered with it, and when I say that, I put it on generously, if you want to call it that. And then what I like to do is I like to take my brush. I like to start up here and just drag my brush all the way across, real slow. And that smooths out any brush strokes, and I just got a light touch. And I just kind of, like I said, ever so slightly. Every one of these flags are a little bit different. No two are the same. So if you ever get one of my flags, nobody's going to get one exactly like what you get. Everybody's just going to be slightly different in some way, shape, or form, whether it be the wave in it, whether it be the way it's cut out, the way the wood takes the stain, you know, all that. And sometimes I stain the white, sometimes I don't, and I'll give you the option of looking at that here in a second. Finish this up. And finish this up, and then we'll show you the other one. And then I just let it dry for 24 hours and come back, give it a second coat, let it dry for another 24 hours and give it a third coat. And this is exterior polyurethane. So give everything a good coat. And I kind of like this, really, this water base, because it does a pretty good job. Like I said, I won't touch that because the glue is still, and I don't want to mess with the glue. So that's kind of the gist of painting with poly. And I put my brush in a bag so I can keep reusing the brush until it gets to the point where just throw it out and get a new one. So get usually 3 or 4 time uses out of it, out of one brush. So I don't have to keep buying new brushes. So, all right, let's go look at the other one. There is the finished product. So as you can see, this one I did not paint the stripes white, but I did the same principle as that. This is one I did earlier. As you can tell, it's wavy, same thing. So, and this is my distress flag. This is one that I did, like I said, I just didn't paint the stripes white, something different. Every one of them is different. And I think this one turned out pretty well. So that being said, I do not put hangers on the back of them when I sell them, just for the simple fact that I don't know where exactly it's going to go on your wall. And I don't know where your studs would be compared to the back of where I put the hangers. So my recommendation is to find the studs on the wall where you're going to hanger it, center it, and then go from there. Attach this to the hangers to the flag then. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. This will be a wrap up of my wavy flag, distress flag. So please feel free to share, subscribe, and like. My name is Paul Courtright, and thank you for stopping by Woodchip Woodworking. Have a good day.